Aha. It's an honor to be with you all. I can't even begin to describe how much of an honor, but it is. When we pulled up to your center, we were trying to park the monstrosity of the vehicle that we're in. If you might not have noticed that. Yeah, that's ours. That's our... We're moving in. We live here now. We live right out there. I don't know where we are. No, it's... Where is it? Okay, all right. So our kitty cat's out there, and she's probably breathing with us right now. So, I mean, a week ago, we were in Athens, Georgia, the home of REM. Yeah. Who knows REM? It was really weird, because one of the guys, I think, was there. He had, like, the dark black, jet black hair with the big black glasses, and he kind of was like this. And I'm pretty sure it was the bass player from REM, but I don't know. So we pulled up there, and we parked right in the middle of their parking lot. They said, just go ahead, park, go for it, we're good. And she introduces me, and she said, you might have thought the Pope had arrived with this vehicle out in the driveway. And we're like, it was so funny, it was so cute. But yeah, so that's our little home, away from home. So anyway, it is just like, it's not just an honor, it's like, this is the only moment you ever get. So like, why wouldn't this be the most amazing moment ever, right here? So I just want to send that out to you and just appreciate every one of you, wherever you are on your path, however much of this you breathe in and however much you don't. Just, I honor you and just am so grateful that you're here. Because this is a really, really powerful teaching. And it didn't even hit me until yesterday. Well, I mean, it did, but you know how it hits you deeper and deeper and deeper, these things that you do, these things that you love, this passion that you have. So we're at a chiropractor. It's called the Super Conference, and it's called the Master Circle. That's got a kind of a nice ring to it. So these are people who have paid, I don't even know how much, Shannon, like $20,000 to be coaching with this guy who is an amazing human being, and he puts on one conference a year. 300 chiropractors show up from all over the world. This is one man from South Africa. Do you know what a chiropractor does? Pops your back. Yeah, that's what most people think. And that's awesome. That's what 80% of them do. They adjust your spine. What holds your inside of your spine? What's in there? Spinal cord, spinal fluid. But what's at the top of it all? Your nervous system. Okay. So I heard stories from these chiropractors. I was in tears. Were you not? Did you ever remember when Yeshua, Jesus, said, and I know this is science of mind and not like Christian, but he was a pretty good teacher. He said, you can do all of this and more. So he would heal the sick. And I'm here to tell you that chiropractors work miracles. All they do is they realign, they pop the back so that the spine and the nervous system can work properly. And the body just heals itself. Has anybody been to a chiropractor that's had their life healed? Wow. Okay, awesome. So I did an hour of breath work with these guys, and they were just, and I was starting to tell my story about the parasympathetic nervous system and all that, and I was going to tell it, but the 3 doctors before me that's all they could talk about was the autonomic nervous system and the parasympathetic response, because all of you right now, I can almost guarantee you, if we they have all these gadgets, they can put things on you and they can test your parasympathetic response, your heart rate, your blood pressure. Most of us are in a state of low-grade stress, always. Because your sympathetic nervous system is the gas pedal. It's the fight or flight, okay? And the parasympathetic nervous system is the brake, okay? So if you think about it, when we were back in it's fight and flight is the sympathetic, okay? So it's that pterodactyl, oh, run, you know? The thing's bigger than me, it can eat me in one bite, okay? Or the saber-toothed tiger, that's always a good one. So it's a really useful thing, right? But back in the day, when you ran away from the saber-toothed tiger, you went back to your life, and you didn't sit around and worry about the saber. You knew. You used your senses. There's no more saber-toothed tigers around. Have you seen? Maybe in Florida, I don't know. But where we live, there's none. So the only saber-toothed tiger that's going on is up here. So now we start to dig into a little bit of the mind, okay? What I've realized in all of this is that every single one of them talked about that the parasympathetic nervous system is what heals the body, okay? And I can tell you without question that the breath is really the only way that your body, without something outside of it, a light therapy or a doctor readjusting your back, your breath is the only thing in your body that can affect this healing response. Okay? Amen. And I learned this in front of 300 chiropractors. I already knew it, but I didn't realize the power of it. I knew that the parasympathetic response was relaxation. Okay? That's all I thought. But when we sat there in front of 300 chiropractors, and they're all they're talking about is the parasympathetic response, I quite honestly had an epiphany, an aha moment that this is not just about feeling good. This is not just about thinking good. This is not just about optimal health. This is about wellness. This is about wellness. And you all want to be well. I'm not going to be the motivational speaker. How many of you want to be well? Raise your hand. You do. You want wellness. It's your nature, okay? So I'm just going to share with you. How many of you are coming to the workshop today? I would like to know just roughly. Okay, maybe. Okay, if I'm really good, right? So we got a bunch of you. I just want to. So there's a few of you maybe either have some plans or there's a football game or something. I don't know. I could tell you could miss the game and this would probably be a lot better. I know whenever I watch a game, I'm breathing a lot. It's a real good opportunity. And if you look out at the coach, what you'll find if you go walk around it, you're welcome to. We can do an open house if you want to come in and have some tea. We were in North Georgia, and it was in the middle of the night. We were pulling over, and we stay at when they say, where did you stay? And you say, I stayed at the W, the Westin. They call it the W. They have them around here. They're very fancy hotels, the Westin. They call it the W. So if you're in an RV and you know how we live, you say, we stayed at the W last night. And they're like, oh, the Westin? No, the Walmart. Because you can pull right into a Walmart and sleep, and nobody will bother you. And we're living off the grid. So then we run in and get a little water and stuff. So as we're driving in the middle of the night, it was pouring down rain, and I don't mean just raining a little bit. And we're kind of in this dark mountainous area, and we're like, we need to pull over because it's time for sleep. And so Shannon's pointing out, she's like, look at these windshield wipers. They're just like, they're bigger than me because we hadn't really used them yet. We just bought it a month ago. And they're just going like this. And we pulled over and we were sitting in the Walmart parking lot, and all of a sudden it was just, what's missing here? This one is gone. So this was our driver's side windshield wiper that snapped off. It didn't just it was a total RV fail right there, right in that moment. And Shannon's like laughing. She's like, oh my God, this is so funny. And I'm like, this is not funny. What part of this is funny to you? I don't see the funny. I don't see the funny. So here's the thing. What does this all even mean? The breath is, how do you apply this? And we're going to do so many different breath patterns today. And your head's going to be spinning, literally. I mean, when you breathe, where the breath goes, the energy flows. Whew. Wow, that's Chinese medicine. You go to an acupuncturist, you go to a Reiki healer, you go to a chiropractor, all these healing hands. But where the breath is the life force, okay? I want you all right now to take a deep breath. Okay, let it out. Okay. This is where it gets interesting. I want you to know, even though I love you, or because I love you, I want that to be the last breath you ever take. What? What did that dude just say? He just said that's the last breath. Okay. So, what did you do to deserve your next breath? Anybody? Nothing. You win the door prize. It's actually a door. It fell off the back of the RV. I don't know what you can use it for. That would be great. Thank you. So nothing. He wins the prize. So we did nothing for the next breath, all right? So what does that make it? True. A gift. Maryland, who drove all the way from South Daytona Beach. Wow. If it's a gift, so if I were to give you a gift, what would you do? Would you take it? You would say thank you. But you know when someone what if someone just randomly walked up and said, it was wrapped up in a present, they said, here you go. Would you go, oh, thank you? I mean, you would almost like contort your body to just like, oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, you don't know what's in there. So if every breath is a gift, I don't want you to take another breath. I want you to receive. All right, now the cat's out of the bag. So, did that land on you? Yeah. Well, that landed on me when it got to me, because this is all like very Captain Obvious. You know, I remember when I walked up on the stage in front of these 300 chiropractors, I was like, okay, this is either going to rock or they're just going to go, like Captain Obvious, like we got to breathe, right? Yeah, okay. But when I said that to them, they all just went, oh, I mean, they got it. Because this is something that you have to evoke. This is not something that this is not going to change your life right now. Okay? But when you start to, like as I think it was Wayne Dyer used to say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay? So if you look at your breath as a gift, every single one of them, you can't take it for granted anymore. And it becomes special, every single one. So that's the power of the word, receive, okay? So that's point number one. I don't know what the other points are going to be. I'm just going to kind of vamp here, but point number one, receive, okay? Receive, only receive. So go ahead and let's receive a breath. Just receive your first new breath. Just receive it. It just becomes a different thing. Do you agree? Yeah. All right, well, have a good afternoon. We'll see you. Okay, so if it's a gift, what does it bring? It brings you, it's a present. Happiness. It's a present because it brings you present. All right, another question for you. I'm all into questions today for some reason. How many of you, as a show of hands, can take a future breath? Really? You can take a future breath. That's the first. You guys were like, yeah, I can do it. It's funny. It's awesome. I'm done. I quit. I can't do this anymore. You guys can take a future breath? Wow. All right, let me give you the mic. You're up here. I can't do this thing. Yeah. So, I mean, you ask a hokey question once in a while, you know. I told a joke to the 300 doctors, and they didn't get it. They didn't get it because they're up here. They're going, huh? Like at the end. You want to hear it real quick? All right. This isn't very science and mindish, but it's all big mind. There's one power in the universe, and you can use it. We'll get to that in a moment. So here's the joke. Talking about that one power. So it's not really a joke, but it really happened. Reverend David Alt, you know David. So we were in his church doing the thing, and he goes, I was in a diner in Oregon, and it was a place where you could write really inspirational things on the wall. And so, you know, he took the Sharpie and wrote something, whatever awesomeness that he wrote. But he saw something written way up in the corner, and he decided, I need to check this out. Like, so he said he had to kind of climb up on the top of the booth. It was really, really small. It was deductive reasoning. And it said, God is love. Love is blind. This is right where the doctors went, Ray Charles is blind. Ray Charles is God. You guys got it. Awesome. Thank you. Everything that we try to accomplish and all that we experience is the result of the quality of our attention. I said that. I had to read it, but I remember saying it about an hour ago. I was listening to me some Deepak this morning. He kind of sort of leaned into that. But here's the thing. If we are to experience the awesomeness of that one power that we're all given access to. What's the best way to do that? Is it to ramp up our mind, or is it to come into the presence? Because the presence is where everything happens, okay? So let me read it to you again. Everything that we try to accomplish and all that we experience is a result of the quality of our attention, okay? So here we go. Let's go into the first breathwork exercise, okay? This one is the easiest and most difficult. Bless you. The most difficult and the easiest all at the same time, okay? So go ahead. Gently just lower your eyelids, okay? What I want you to do right now is real simple. Just watch your breath going in and out. Just, you can be creative with it. Just watch. And I'm going to talk a little bit because I'm just kind of guiding and teaching you this. This is really anapanasati, which is a Buddhist meditation. So as you're breathing and you're focusing on your breathing, what you'll notice is these little thoughts will start coming in, right? No, well, I'm supposed to, I forgot to, I left that on. As these thoughts come up, just bless them, thank him, go right back to your breath, okay? Now, depending on how fast you're moving in your life will result in a different experience in this. So if you are moving really fast and you have a monkey mind that is climbing all over the jungle gym, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. And I challenge you to do this. They say to do this for 20 minutes a day. If you don't have time, make it an hour. Now here's the funny thing about this. It's not very interesting. Because interesting is a mental construct. Because we want to experience all the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. This is not actually doing. This is being. Are you a human doing or a human being? Which one? And don't even worry about if you feel giddy, because that's the point. And here's the point. There is no point. It's a pointless point. You don't meditate to seek the fruits of meditation. You just meditate. So you can use this is a little test for you. How many thoughts, just in your own mind, just how many thoughts came up for you? And if it was a whole bunch like it is for most of us, bless you, because now you know where you can direct some of your attention, because the quality of your attention will result in a deeper and richer experience in everything. And it will result in results. If you sit in this for even 5 minutes in the morning, every single day, your life will change. Guarantee it. Or your money back. So we're just going to come back when we're ready. I mean, this wasn't a deep meditation. This was just a quick little teaching. And to the mind that is still, the universe surrenders. I got chills. Did anybody else? Woo! To the mind, this is Lao Tzu. To the mind that is still, the universe surrenders. So what's the universe? There's one power, and you can use it. That's it. That's the thing that he was talking about. So you don't wrap your head around this. You just experience it. You just feel it. And I can tell you, I sit sometimes and I'm frustrated because I got to hurry up and meditate. I mean, okay, I'm supposed to, and I'll just watch myself just slowly. So the breath, I have a real simple thing. This is the next thing. The first one was, does anybody remember the first point? I don't. It's a gift. Thank you. The second point is this. It's real simple. It's ABC. Okay? Awareness on your breath equals consciousness. ABC. Awareness plus breath equals consciousness. Okay? You feeling me? Okay? Because if you want to seek consciousness, if you want to seek results, if you want to speak an affirmation, where are you coming from? Are you just up here? Are these just words to you? Or are you the ocean? If you want to be seasick, if you don't want to be seasick every day, you just have to become the ocean. Leonard Cohen said that. If you don't want to be seasick every day, you have to become the ocean. So how do you become the ocean? You just go out of your mind. Okay? How many of you experience chaos in your life? Go ahead, you don't have to raise your hand, but... Well, okay, so let me explain one little principle of breath work to you. When you own your breath, nothing can take your peace. Do you have control over much? I mean, you can, if you're a salesperson, you can get on the phone and make a lot of phone calls, okay? That will result maybe in some sales, okay? If you are well, that's a good example. Let's just leave it at that. However, when you come into this oneness, that this experiential connection to this thing, this one power, you just become it. So it doesn't mean, do you know what the word manifest means? But the actual word, you go back to the roots of it, it means obvious. What? So like just as your hand in front of your face, it's just obvious. Okay? So what you're seeking, what you're out there reaching for, what you're looking for is what is looking. Does that make sense to you? St. Francis of Assisi said that. What you are looking for is what is looking. Okay, this gets kind of mystical, but in the science of mind, it is all about mysticism. It's not just about the words, because the words, we made up the words. We can all agree on that, right? We made up the words. The truth was here before the words. However, the words evoke, and the words eviscerate inside of us, and they stimulate us because we're thinking. We have a left side and we have a right side of our brain. So all of this story just all kind of comes together when you think about the present, the gift. And when I said, can you take a future breath, and a couple people raised their hand, we all chuckled. Can you take a past breath? No. All right. How about we activate a little bit? Because this was like this is sort of the feminine version of the meditation. This was the Buddha. The Buddha did this. The Buddha was a small boy, and he lived in a village with his parents. They took him to a plowing festival, and he just wandered off under a tree and just sat there and watched his breath and became enlightened when he was like, 8 years old. He didn't know he became enlightened. He just knew, this feels amazing. And it started him on a path his entire life to seek enlightenment. And if you know the story of the Buddha, I mean, it's almost a tragedy. I mean, he was like, no food, no cohabitation, no nothing. I'm going to live the ascetic life. I'm going to live in suffering and pain so that I can become enlightened. And much, much later in his life, if you know the story of the Buddha, where did he become enlightened? Under the Bodhi tree. And he was sitting there under the tree, and he's like, I give up. I've tried everything. And he just started watching his breath, turned off his future past mind, just became one with the ocean, And from that moment on, he was enlightened. And so people would ask him, is the breath a way to enlightenment? The Buddha would say, it's the only way. Whew. Wow. There's over 8 million words in the Buddhist text. 8 million words. And this is the only way. I can dig that. I can get into that. So I want to share with you a few things, and today is going to be fun, kind of like this, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and we're going to push ourselves a little bit, and we're going to go through body, mind, and spirit. Okay, so the body, mind, and spirit is what we are. Okay, and we're going to get your we're going to get your mind in your body, and your spirit in your body, and your body in your mind, and your spirit in your mind, your body. We're going to get it all connected, because do you feel a little defragged, like a disc, like you need to defrag yourself once in a while? So we're going to go through some of that. I'm going to play a bunch of music as well and just kind of rock out and just have fun. It was a life changer for me. And then hopefully in 2 hours and I'm not trying to change you. They say never underestimate your ability to change yourself and overestimate your ability to change others. So it's not about that. It's just about that. Something amazing is changing in me. Something sacred is awakening. So we are awakening something in you. The reason I do all this is I went to a rebirthing class. It's called holotropic breathing. I don't know if any of you have been through this. Holotropic, yeah, it's kind of got that like Star Trek-y sound. This process of a holotropic breathing is it's a rebirthing. It really is. It's mostly mouth breathing. And I can tell you, if I ran you through a couple of these breaths for two minutes or so, you'd probably be sweating a little bit. And because what happens when you breathe is, as I said earlier about the parasympathetic, it just stimulates that goodness, that parasympathetic response. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, and I'll give you more kind of details about it, so your left brain can go, oh, I get it now. But hopefully I've given you enough overview. And I'm not going to get all technical, because I'm not really technical, but I will give you enough that you'll leave here and you go, I get this, man. Like, this is wellness. Okay, so we'll work on the body. We'll work on getting ourselves into our bodies. It's not going to be real touchy-feely, so I don't know if you're worried about that. Maybe a little. I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be really sweet. You'll have a connection with people who are there that you've never had. Maybe not. Maybe you have. I don't know. When I started doing this, the walls came down. Do you know what I mean? Like those veils between you and everyone else. Because we both fear and need the other. Does that make sense to you? I heard that. So we both fear and need each other. Okay? We both fear and need. And so the breath, the holotropic breathing, the mouth breathing, if I got you into this state, I can almost guarantee you 80% of you would start to cry, start to weep. Why would you start to weep? Because the breath is the only bodily function reaching your nervous system that is both voluntary and involuntary. So it reaches your subconscious. Wow. It's like hypnosis, almost. You ever been to hypnosis and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me? Because what we're doing is we're pushing everything down. We were born a genius and life degeniused us. That's what Wayne Dyer used to say. We were born a genius. A baby knows how to breathe, but we forgot. So when I asked all of you to take a deep breath, I watched a lot of you, and you looked a lot like me when I started. It's just, So here's your last talking point of the day. LSD. All right? I love that. I love that you get it, because it's like, yeah, it's still going. But LSD had a really good idea. Let's reach an altered state of consciousness. That sounds pretty cool, because what's going on here kind of sucks. I don't like it here. I want to go out there, I want to see colors. I want to feel good. I want to just walk around and carefree, woo, flower child, right? But LSD is really dangerous, and it can kill you, okay? So what these doctors discovered, Leonard Orr mainly, is that the breath has almost the same effect. So we're going to have a trip today, you guys. I have a 13-year-old son, and he comes to me and he said, Dad, I want to know what it's like to get high. And I was like, well, thank you for your honesty. Man, that's pretty big of you. Like, I never told my dad that, because he would have been like, bam, here's what it feels like. No, my dad never touched me, but I like feared him, like, fear God. Like, I kind of feared, like, I thought my dad was God when I was a little, I don't know, because he kind of had that, anyway, never mind. So, what was I saying? I totally lost. When I say these jokes, LSD, see? Yeah, I didn't remember. That's what it does to you. No. My son wanted to know what it feels like to get high. It really deeply touched me that he told me that, number one, because it made me realize that I have a presence with him, that he knows that he can talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm there for him. And I'm not going to judge him, and he knows I'm going to be hard on him because I'm not his best friend. So I said, do you want to know what it feels like to get high? And we did a Kapalabhati breath, which is a deep diaphragmatic breath. And he was like, woo! I'm like, I was driving at the time, and I did a few of them, and I was like, all right, keep going. I can't keep going because I'm driving. The Kapalabhati breath, it means shining skull. So the breath, where the breath goes, the energy flows, okay? So we're going to do a few breaths here to just close out. Am I okay on time? We didn't even get into all that, did we? It's like 25 after. Thank you. I'll wrap this up because I know there's other things that we need to do here. So LSD, it stands for lower, slower, and deeper. Okay? So your breath up here, too high. And I learned actually over the weekend that it's squeezing these very important nerves and neural pathways that relate to your parasympathetic. So these doctors are always realigning people because they're breathing up in here, and it's wreaking havoc in their body. So bring it down low. So the first thing I invite you, let your belly out. Nobody's looking, just give it a little love. Come on, you worked for it. Give it a little bit of love. And if you have anything crossed, just uncross your leg. Let's get into our yogi state real quick here. And we're going to do a quick little teaching here that's I'm going to be the motivational speaker now. How many of you would like deeper lung capacity? Yeah! I would. Because the word for breath is spirit. You probably know that. Maybe not. Every language. Except for English. Go through them all. Hebrew, Ruach. Aramaic, the language that Yeshua would have spoke. Ooh, God. Just say that. Ooh, God. We'll tone that later in the workshop. We'll have a transcendent Ruach moment. And we'll begin to think, am I breathing or am I being breathed? We'll start to feel this consciousness, this spirit coming through. So breath and spirit are the same exact word. Spirituality is the interbreathing that connects all of life. That's what that word really could be broken down to. And we're going to experience that this afternoon. We're going to look at these lights up here. You wondered what those things were. We snuck in on your pillars. We're going to breathe in and out with these lights. We're going to experience the sense of oneness. It's called entrainment. Have you heard of that word before? We're going to feel entrainment that you've never felt before because we're all breathing at different rates and paces. Today, we're going to breathe as one. You're going to experience like this moment. So if we're looking at this apparatus that we have called the respiratory system, we call it the respiratory system. Re-spirit. Did you get that? Yeah. The doctors really like that one. They were all writing that one down. Our teacher, Rabia, coined that term. Re-spirit, because if the breath is spirit, this is not the respiratory, it's the re-spirit. So if you're breathing shallow, here's what you look like. Right here. You kind of look like this. And actually, at the rate that you're breathing, you're stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, your adrenals. You're stimulating stress, okay? And you can instantly repair this with really just one deep diaphragmatic breath. One breath. So this is a medicine. It's always on board. There's no copay. It's free. Whoever said it's free. Okay? And I'm going to tell you today that we're like 1% teaching I'm going to throw all kinds of stuff at you today, but it's 99% practice. The reason we call this breath work is because as you do this, it works on you. It's cumulative. You're going to see people yawning. You know why? Because what happens is when you get a little bit of this, taste of this, it wants more. And that's why you're yawning at the end of the day, because you've been shallowly breathing all day long, right? In the song, I said, I've been, what are the words? I've spent my whole life just barely breathing. And you have too, unless you've been through all this, because I know I was. So this is like a serious wake-up call, okay? So let's do a couple of really nice diaphragmatic breaths together. We're going to end on what we call push breath, and then we're gonna just sort of leave it at that. I'm not even going to play another song. We'll save it for later. So I want to invite you down into your belly. Take this with sincerity. If you ever practice yoga, any yogis in here, it's all about sincerity. Receive. It's not taking or receiving. We're changing the whole entire way that we've been walking on this planet with this practice, okay? So check in with your belly. Feel it. Now just picture yourself as just a small little baby. Just real gentle. When you breathe in, just raise your belly. Breathe in through your nose. And when you breathe out, squeeze your belly. Now keep squeezing. Keep going. Keep going. Farther. Come on, Bob. Why? Come on. Keep going. Empty. Now breathe it in. Woo! Oh my goodness. Can I get a hallelujah on that? Man, wow. Okay. So, is anybody vomiting? No. Okay. So here's the thing. Chinese medicine. Okay? We go back 5,000 years when they started inventing words, probably before that or whatever. All right. 2 characters for breath. Okay? What do you think they are, Chinese medicine? What? Inhale, exhale. Okay. Thank you. I answered it for you because I'm rushing. Inhale, exhale. Okay? So, which one comes first?
Inhale.
Exhale. What? Okay. So we're going to try one of these deep breaths again, and this time we're going to begin with the exhale. So breathe it out through your mouth. Squeeze. Now breathe it in through your nose. Let your belly rise. Breathe out through your nose. Bring it in through your nose. Blow it out. Bring it in through your nose. H. Who doesn't feel awesome right now? Woo. What we call that is the 3-breath anchor. Okay? Now you say you feel lightheaded, but you know what? You have been so low on oxygen that this is actually the normal. This is how you want to feel. This is called a peak state. What you were in before is a weak state. Not that you're weak, but it's a weak state. When you're talking about your nervous system, this is a peak state, okay? And I'm going to give you tons of breaths today to enhance this peak state. But it all comes back to presence, okay? So before you do your affirmation, before you pray in, do the 3-breath anchor and magnify those words. Magnify your presence. Magnify this one power that you can use. You can use it. You can use it sort of, or you can rock it out with the breath because you're superheroes. This is where I'm getting all motivational, but you really are. After 3 or 4 weeks of this practice, I'm going to work with each one of you individually, and we'll talk just for a moment around the circle. And I'm going to give you a prescription for which one I think you're going to benefit from. I have one for anxiety. I have one for cravings. I have one for, well, I'm going to talk about that a little bit because there's actually a kind of a series. There's a flow that happens why people get depressed. And if you feel like you're running out of steam, I don't know if you do or not, but yeah. I will help you, the breath. None of this is me, it's just the breath. The breath will help you to get more nutrients out of your food, okay? Because it's about digestion, okay? And this is, I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on about this, but I just wanted to share enough with you this morning to get you kind of excited about it. Inspired, inspire. Breath inside. Yeah. We're going to have a conspiracy, conspire. We're going to breathe together. All these words are just so fun to play with. So I want to leave you with the push breath, and we're going to just sort of rock this out. So I want to invite you up on your feet. And I want to invite you to, I want you to bring your best self to this right here. Like, so if you were like, hey, you know, this guy is going on and on. What time is it? I got to get, that's cool. That's cool. Because you get out of this exactly what you bring to it. If you're just kind of like, I don't feel anything. Thank you. Okay. That's what you're going to get. You know, you see things as you are, not as they are. So let's bring this. And this is just a little taste of where we're going to go today. And I'm going to invite you to use your hands. We're going to be bringing in the chi. This is metal energy, life force, prana. That's what air and breath and spirit is. We're going to bring it up to our nose, and then we're going to give it away. We're going to breathe in with our nose, and we're going to push. So we're going to you just follow me exactly. And if you feel like lightheaded, awesome. If you feel dizzy, because some people, if they have actually like a heart condition or something, this will start to stimulate because they're not used to getting so much oxygen. If you really do feel like dizzy and you start seeing, just slow down, maybe have a seat. Because not to worry anybody, because this isn't like voodoo or anything. It's just, it's energy. So if you have a lot of energy all of a sudden that you're not used to, woo, you know. So we're going to take this slow. I want to be gentle with you all, okay? So we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe out first, as the good yogis would do. So you breathe it out. Bring it in. Breathe it out. Belly. Use your belly. Follow me. A little faster. One more. Slow. Now don't breathe in. This is the wait for it breath. Your ego wants to breathe, but you're oxygenated. Wait for it. You don't have to sit there like, just go. I don't need a breath. I'm in control of this. I have just pumped my spirit full. My respiratory system has been activated. I don't need a breath. Go away, ego. My ego is not my amigo, what do they say? And when you're ready, just bring it in. Just sigh it out. You can have a seat. Thank you. And if you don't feel completely awesome right now, I failed, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. But I think you all do. I think you all feel pretty awesome. This is an awesome practice. It's totally, totally related to your spiritual practice. We're going to go a lot more into the spirit part of this in the actual workshop. I'm so grateful that you all were just kind of here with me and laughing and let me do my thing and let me bring this ancient message through to you, because it's time. It's time to bring this back. It's time to get people healthy and well and full of spirit. So, namaste. Thank you.